Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going through the best and worst tattoo videos I could find. I got some doozies. Let's jump into this one real fast. First off, holy hell, there's some bad looking tattoos on these people. Second off, it's crazy that they have machines just hanging out, right? You could buy pretty much any tattoo machine. Let's see. How much can I buy a tattoo machine online for? I'm gonna guess 35 bucks is like the cheapest. You could buy a whole set for about 55 bucks. There's one for 30. Absolutely crazy. It's wild to see people just like going after it. And this is not a new phenomenon, right? People have been doing this crap for a long time, but still every day it blows my mind that you just sit on your couch, pull out a tat gat, and permanently deform your little footsicle, okay? Your little foot is stupid now, okay? You just dropped your foot's IQ by like 14 points. I don't know if that's a lot actually, but I'm gonna guess it made your foot stupid, okay? Now, I don't know these people. I don't want to judge them. But what they're doing with their life is absolutely stupid as shit, okay? Sitting on a couch, tattooing your face, you're living the hard life. On to the next, okay? Speaking of stupid f***ing jabronis, we got Healing Playbook something or other. He's gonna talk about how your neurological lines don't connect, and once you get a tattoo, it biologically disconnects from your forefront of your future, and inside of your gut, there's a biome that is now infiltrated with carbon. I don't know, he's gonna say some dumb shit like that, and it's gonna sound stupid. Let's listen to Healing Playbook.
Tattoos knock out the power lines of the body. Then in the location is where it knocks out the power. The ink has carbon in it, and when the carbon hits the fascia, which is the power line of the body, that's what shorts it out. You gotta find where the tattoo's shorting you out, and you gotta use a certain combination of essential oil.
Girl, whatever. Okay, now obviously this was a stitch, right? There was a guy saying some words and you're like, whoa, those words sound idiotic, preposterous, okay? Made up stuff. It's because it is made up stuff. I haven't seen too many biohacker like jabronis in that world coming after tattooing, but occasionally it does happen, and that's what you get to see right here with this guy talking about the healing lines of the central electric system, and your body is like this one big magnet and it attracts what it doesn't compel, whatever. They're all words. They're all words that maybe in some weird way might be true, and in a lot of ways it's just stupid ramblings of a guy who knows if you put enough words together, it'll eventually make sense. You know how I know this? Because I do that every single day, dude. I just say some fucking words and eventually it might make sense to somebody, okay? But the difference between me and this jabron is that I'm not trying to sell you some essential oils to realign the magnetic poles of your inner bowels. Like, dude, shut up, Ted. I feel like his name's Ted. I don't know. What's his name? John? Shut up, John. You blue-eyed bitch. Just kidding. I don't know. I just don't like him. I just want to, he's got a punchable face. You know what I'm saying? The magnets in my hand are attracted to his face, okay? On to the next. Let's listen to this guy.
When it comes to getting a tattoo, there is a level of trust that must be established not only before you come and get the tattoo, but the day of the tattoo. My name's Taylor. I'm a tattoo artist in Savannah, Georgia. Here's 3 things I do the day of the tattoo to take my level of trust from here to even higher with all my clients. The first things first, when we're doing the design together, I tell them, yo, if you do not like it, say, no, I don't want that. It's on you forever. It's gonna be there. Be very picky with it if you need to be. And once we do the stencil, I also tell them, if you want to move it up, down, left, right, no problem, we'll redo it. If I don't like the way it looks, I'll relay it myself. The second thing is, right before we start the tattoo, I show all my clients the needles and the packs before I open them. That right there alleviates a lot of pressure from new clients. And the third thing I do is aftercare. Not only do I give all clients a rundown of the aftercare after the tattoo, but I give them an aftercare sheet to take home.
Look, if you're a client at home, this is the exact amount of care you deserve from your tattooer. Look, if you're a client, you should expect this. This is very straightforward, very good. You know, all these different things. He's doing everything in his power to make you feel completely comfortable while you're getting tattooed. Now, as a tattooer, you should do everything in your power to never have to do any of these things. Let me explain. Look, as a tattooer, this point in my career, none of those things I do at all, ever. Why? Because I don't feel the need to make people feel comfortable getting tattooed by me anymore. And there's a few ways you can like do this, right? is like, one, make a YouTube video and say words so loud that everyone kind of understands who you are, your process, the way you think, so loud that everyone knows. That's my key, right? That's how I did it. But honestly, like, if customers are coming to you because they know that the quality of tattoos that you put out is so high that like this little micro steps that you have to do to make people trust you don't matter anymore. Like, you don't have to show them, look, I use neat. Look, if the quality of your work is so high, for the most part, you don't have to baby clients at all because they know exactly what they're gonna get and they're looking for the best stuff around. So yes, as a tattooer, you should put out this level of care and do everything in your power not to have to do that type of stuff. Like, get your portfolio up, say some words on the internet, make people trust you, allow them to see what you're about, and they don't need to make sure that you used a clean needle. They'll know, like, hey, this guy's obviously a professional. The way he conducts himself in every other way tells me that he doesn't need show me stuff like that. I think there's plenty of ways that you can go online and show people that they should trust you without having to do it all on the day of the tattoo, which I think this kid's probably on his way to doing. He's being very clear about his process, how he wants to take care of you guys. You probably have a little bit more trust in this guy than you would for everybody else because he's telling you exactly how you do it. So if you're a tattooer, say some words, prove to people that they can trust you, and I think that's a better move than like baby stepping every single thing. On to the next. Now, I'm gonna be honest. If you have savage tattooed on your neck, you should be a savage, okay? Piercing your ears should not be a big deal. I'm just saying it. I see it. I couldn't unsee it. We all see it. Sometimes your tattoos are trying to say something. And if your neck says savage, you better be a goddamn savage. And if you're not living up to that tattoo, you should laser that thing off, okay? Watch this and tell me that this is not an overreaction to an ear piercing. At the end, he has the audacity to say he felt nothing that time. Look, I've had my ear pierced one time. I was like, ooh, give me an ear piercing. I own a piercing studio. I should probably know what it feels like. Did not like it, did not enjoy it, did not bother me that much at all because it wasn't that painful. I just didn't like looking in the mirror and being like, who's this f***ing dork with an earring, okay? If I get Billy Badass tattooed across my neck and I like can't handle a tattoo, I look like a chump, okay? If you want your tattoos to say something, then you better live up to what they're saying, okay? The only time I've ever tattooed savage on a kid, I tattooed his belly, and it said savage, which is savage in Spanish. And that mother sat like a goddamn savage. He didn't wince, he didn't breathe heavy, he pretty much was talking to me the whole time. Never tattooed a tougher kid in my whole life. Did he live up to that tattoo? Absolutely. He was like, today I'm gonna be a savage. I'm gonna put my man pants on and I'm gonna toughen this shit out, no matter what. And that kid did. Good for that kid. This guy did not. And it looks goofy, okay? You know, if it said mama's boy across his neck, no one would be judging him. We'd all be like, hey, he's very clear with who he is. I think this piercer did this guy dirty. You knew what this was gonna do. You knew that little old Kirk was gonna be like, this guy's not a savage. He got done dirty by your piercer. On to the next. I am gonna show you some beautiful tattooing by Horitada in Japan. Absolutely brilliant tattooing. Very clean, super solid. All the colors that are here, fantastic. The black is bold and strong. Fun to look at. Japanese tattooing to me is always one of those things that's really hard to showcase in any other way than video. Video is really the only way that does it, and it really leaves it up to the imagination. Unless you see it in person, it doesn't have the full strength. And this is tattooed by Horitada in Japan, and I just think it looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love looking at it. On to the next. Now, we are gonna talk about spirituality in tattooing. It pops up in all sorts of different ways. Whether you're getting like a traditional tattooer by a Hindi guy, or like, so in this case, we're gonna see Thai tattooing done by some guy in LA. Oftentimes, I think people push their spirituality into tattoo world as a way to market themselves. Now, that is a very easy statement to say. You could easily also say like, hey, their spirituality is so part of their life, that it touches everything they do, and tattooing is what they do. So their tattoos have like this essence of spirituality. Fine, very cool with me, but let's talk about both of those ideas. And let's watch this clip here, which I think hits it all right on the head.
Why do I tattoo by hand and not with a machine? There are a few reasons. First, it's a ceremonial necessity. Second, this is yoga, dots connected to breath, bringing mind and body into balance. And third, this carries ancestral power. It's an experience. Dr. Carter said it was life-changing, so profound and precious, she compared it to birthing her children. There are other reasons, but this video is just too short.
I think this is a very pretty thing, right? The tattoo I wish was done in black, but like whatever, we're not gonna harp on that too much. This is what they do, I don't know. This is a style called sakyant. It's popular in Thailand and maybe Cambodia as well. But this is done by a guy doing it in LA. And I just think to myself, I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes that line gets blurred of like what I find interesting and what I find as just marketing, you know? And not that this feels like it's just marketing to me, but in some ways it does. And I don't know where the line of me being like, that feels genuine and that feels goofy and that feels whatever. All I want to say out there is that if you feel like some of this stuff feels markety to you, that's okay. That it also feels markety to me out there. I guess the major point that I'm trying to make is that even when my initial thought is, wow, that looks cheesy, right? The spiritual thing is cheesy when it gets infused in tattooing. Like a lot of times you see like people pushing this type of like performance style thing. And most of the time it's awful and dorky. Sometimes it's still goofy to you, but how can I take away from this person's experience? The person doing it and the person getting it? I don't know. I feel really conflicted here because all I want to do is talk some shit. But at the same time, that does not feel genuine because there is part of me that is like, who am I to take away from these experiences these people are having? And even though I don't love the tattoo, it's very well done. I have filmed this too many times and have not come to a conclusion. I guess my point is just to be cautious of what you're getting out there because a lot of times it does feel disingenuous. Disingenuine? A lot of times it does feel like, what are they actually selling here? The tattoo or this marketing that is spiritual? But I don't know. I don't know. On to the next. Speaking of things that I am half in, half out on, this is a beautiful tattoo by Steiner Tattoos. Now, if you've followed this channel for any amount of time, you would know that I am almost always going to talk shit when someone blasts white into a tattoo. Usually. Now, when it comes to Japanese tattooing, they smash white in a lot of tattoos. Just like this. And this is not only beautifully executed, it looks great with the white. Now, for the most part, that white isn't going to be that white, especially not the white we're looking at, isn't going to be as strong as it is here in this video. For a long time, it might look great. I tattooed white into a kid maybe 8 years ago. This little bag is about this big. It looks great still. Now, done that on other people and it looks like trash. So my biggest complaint with things like white and tattoos isn't the fact that like, sometimes it looks great, but for the most part, it looks very bad. And I'm always like, if something has a success rate of like 10%, maybe it shouldn't be done. But either way, this is a beautiful tattoo. I'm sure it's gonna be one of the 10%, maybe not, I don't know. But if you're getting a tattoo that's all white, do you like those numbers? Because I don't. I don't want to go through the pain of maybe having a nice tattoo or maybe having a shit tattoo. Beautiful though, regardless. On to the next. Why I closed my $50K a year business to be a tattoo artist. Gross amount of payment, 562, blah, 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 blah. I wonder how much he paid in taxes. I wonder how much he was actually taking home with like the net. Because a lot of times, you know, you could be making a ton of money on paper, but not taking a lot of money home. And maybe that $500,000 business was actually not a very successful one. But either way, why did he leave a $500K business to become a tattooer? Probably because he thought he'd make more money as a tattooer. Now, what we're seeing here is a guy going from being a dancer, great, super cool, following his dreams, to having a regular ass job growing up, I spent 7 years building a successful business. Good for you. Glad. I thought it was what I wanted, but in reality, I hated it. And now I'm rediscovering my talent as a tattoo. Whatever. You get the picture. Why did a guy go from being a dancer to having a successful business to becoming a tattooer? I don't know. Do I think most people should become a tattooer in their mid-30s? No, I don't. I think that for the most part, once you get into your midlife, tattooing might not be the job you should pursue. For a handful of people I know personally, I met a kid this weekend. His name's Aaron. He learned in his 30s, an amazing, phenomenal tattooer. The only thing with that guy is like he should have always been a tattooer. He's so talented. He's great. He would always be a successful tattooer. I've also met tattooers who started in their mid-30s who honestly should have never gotten into the craft. There's nothing special about their tattoos in their 30s, and they're gonna spend the rest of their life on this uphill battle of trying to be as good as kids in their 20s. You meet a kid in his 20s today who learned how to tattoo in 2020, dude, that kid is a killer. I have no chance to compete with him. If I had a business that was making $500,000 a year, no, I have no reason to try and become a tattooer. Not today. Not today. 20 years ago, maybe. Sometimes I think people should just enjoy getting tattooed rather than trying to make it a career. I think that's true. On to the next.
Hello, this is for all my tattooist friends, so if you're not a tattooist, stop watching because you're going to make fun of me. Alright, so if you don't know, I've lost about 69 kilos in the last 3 years, right? So my head was bigger, and now my head is smaller, and it sort of looks like it says gay now. And I can't unsee it. So this is a H, right? But because they were spread out more, because my cranium was bigger, now it's pushed together, and it sort of looks like it says Minu gay. I don't know. What do I do? So I've got two ideas. I can either, one, get the letters redone in maybe a little bit of a different font with a bit of filigree around it, or I think if I just put a dot there and a dot there, I think it solves all the issues. I don't want to go down on my forehead. When Mum passed away, I promised her I wouldn't get any more on my face. It's the only thing she ever asked me. So do you think I just do re-letters in a bit of a different font with a bit more pizzazz, but also don't want my head, the front of my head, to look like it's a new tattoo versus the rest of my head? Or do I just do two dots?
I see gay as well. And as a straight guy, I wouldn't necessarily want gay across my forehead. What are the things to take away from here? I don't know. I have no idea. It looks like it says gay on your head. You should have seen that one coming. I don't know how we didn't, but we didn't. And now it looks like it says gay. If I was him and the two options he gave was to add a little bit of pizzazz to kind of like take away from what's happening, or adding dots, I would do both. I would do both. You don't want it to say gay on your forehead. Unless you're gay, then hey, perfect. You wouldn't want to put straight on some gay guy's forehead either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he'd appreciate that. If he lost a bunch of weight and his head tattoos came together and all it said was straight across his forehead, I don't think he'd like that either. If it was me, put some dots, put some filigree, call it a day, and then make it so distracting that you don't see any of it anymore. Who cares? It's a head tattoo. No one can read it anyways. I don't think it's in English, so hey, filigree and dots. On to the next.
Want to see my tattoo?
Huh?
Want to see my tattoo?
Yeah, might as well. So that's what you do. What is it?
Look.
Isn't it amazing?
What a beautiful moment between a grandpa and a grandson. Is it good? No. Do I love it? Yes. Do I wish it was done a little bit better? Yes. Is it f***ing killing me that it's not done better? Yes. But a beautiful moment regardless. Do I want people to have better tattoos? Yes. Am I gonna get that? No. Do people keep getting bad tattoos? Yeah. Does it drive me absolutely f***ing crazy? Yes. Okay. Beautiful moment. Not struggling at all. Should it have been made differently? Yes. I think I've made my point clear. What a beautiful moment. On to the next. God damn it, dude.
Been tattooing for 20 years.
I've been tattooing for 17 years.
Maybe I could have learned in 10 more years
I've learned now.
Learned 10 years of knowledge from someone not only like willing to give it to you, but making sure you're actually getting it.
This is definitely a game changer in our industry, and he's doing wonderful things with it, so I'm super happy.
Okay, this is the only type of tattoo schools I'm a big fan of. When an expert tattooer talks to other expert tattooers. I think it's such a great thing in tattooing, and it happens so rarely. I'm not gonna harp on it too much because this really is only specific to tattooers talking to tattooers, but it is a great thing to see in a small community when other tattooers give each other proper techniques and ideas that they could go ahead and use themselves. Just brilliant. I wish I saw it more in traditional tattooing because you just don't see it there. Mostly because like that type of geometric is very technical, and applying, a lot of it is just much more technical than like traditional tattooing. But either way, beautiful thing, on to the next. This is a spaghetti ball and fork. I see it, I hate it, it don't look good, and it's gonna fade into an oblivion of nothing. It doesn't look like it could be brains wrapped around a spaghetti? Yes. Is this an idea that shouldn't be tattooed? Probably. But if it is tattooed, it definitely needs more than just yellows and reds, okay? Every time you tattoo with just yellow and red, most of that yellow is gonna fade away. And if you smash a bunch of white into it, that white's gonna fade away. So tattoos like this hyper-realism crap just look like shit immediately. On to the next. I think I got one more video in me, and let's hear what he's got to say.
Does your tattoo artist or shop constantly push polarizing subjects like politics, religion, sex? While a lot of these subjects are super important, is it really something that should be pushed on a client while they're just there to get a tattoo done? It can cause a lot of problems for the other people that work in the shop or for your social media platform. Because now, anyone that wanted to get tattooed there, if they feel slightly different, they're immediately gonna feel like they're being judged. When a client is in a chair...
Connor Cade, you are the guy. You said exactly what I think about when I hear this type of thing. I don't think there's a more cowardly thing to do than give someone a tattoo and then push your ideologies, whatever it may be. Whether you're left, whether you're right. If it's a polarizing subject, if it's got religion, if it's got sexuality, if it's got politics, and you bring it up as a tattooer to your clients while they're getting tattooed, I think you're a coward. Because you're setting up the conversation that you are the dominant person in the experience. You are in control, right? You're giving them a lifelong tattoo. And you decide to bring up something that in that moment is extremely hard to have a discussion about. You're a joker and a loser. And as someone who in general doesn't care about any of those things and sees valid points in all of those places, I think, man, I don't want to know you. If you're a tattooer bringing up politics, bringing up religion, bringing up sex, even conspiracy theory in a lot of ways. Conspiracy, which happens to be most of the time all three of those. All of these subjects, I think they should be left outside of a tattoo shop. Now, what you do on your social media, whatever, fine, whatever. I think it's weird there too. But in the actual act of tattooing, the only thing a tattooer should really be doing is trying to connect with their client. It should be like, hey, how can I make this the best experience for my client ever? How do I connect with this person? And a lot of times, the only way some people know how to connect is through their politics or their views or whatever. And I'm always like, wow, you suck. You suck. You can't disconnect from that bullshit for long enough to just have a genuine connection with a client. That's all you need to do. Make them feel like you care about them for 2 hours, and then you say goodbye. And then that's it. That's all you got to do. How do you connect with these people? How do you make their experience feel like you actually care? That's all you got to do. Do a beautiful tattoo. You tell them that they matter for a few hours, and that's it. That's all the job is. And the moment someone brings up politics, it's really about this is what's important to me. I need to talk about this. I need to spread. It's there's no connection there anymore. What you're doing is just selfish, and you're cowardly because you know that they cannot really fight back in that situation because they want their tattoo that's going to be on them for the rest of their life to look nice. Very good on you, Connor Cade. I appreciate you. You have a beautiful one, and I will see you in a few days.